how do we impact vulnerability? So we can be focused on decreasing magnifiers, we can be focused on increasing buffers, or in fact actually addressing these life factors directly. And a lot of you out in the audience have tools that are already specifically designed to do this stuff, right? It's just about fitting into a framework, we think, more aggressively with the payers and the big employers out there so that they do this more intentionally. So what we thought we would do is have Wendy, so Wendy, who last year, and she obviously is a collaborator in the development of the Unmentionables and the Vulnerability Index. Much of this is her brainchild. We like to say she's overeducated and very published. And last year, you heard her describe the health effects of the work environment. And this year, she's going to come back and really talk about the power of social support as a buffer, the power of our friends to lift us up and help us when bad things are happening. So, Wendy Lynch.
I'm always happy to be invited to the ELIZA party. It's a wonderful place to be invited as a resident nerd, and they accept me anyway. Social support is not an unknown contributor to health. In fact, 35 years ago, just across the bay, there was a landmark study called the Alameda 7. And what they determined was that social support had a dramatic impact regardless of your health status, your health risks, or your access to health services. And since then, what we've learned is that social support is one of the most fundamental factors in determining how long you'll survive. It determines what illnesses that you will get and how quickly you will recover from them. In fact, they've started to look at social support and actual bodily function at the enzyme level. And at that enzyme level, it affects cardiovascular disease, immunity, and hormonal responses. And when you don't have good social support, you actually get cranky. Can you check my calendar today and see if I'm scheduled to give a damn? Part of that is social support. Can you give it and do you get it? And part of it is the result of what's happened in our society. We do not have time, and in our 1,440 minutes every day, we spend a certain amount sleeping. With the rest of it, we spend most of it working. With the rest of it, we take care of our house and take care of our families. We spend a little bit of time trying to get a good meal, and with the remaining bits of time, it's leisure, which now is 90% television watching. So when we are spending all of that time watching our TV, we are not connecting with people. So what we need when we actually connect with people is we need a variety of different sources of support. We need the kind of support that is a mentor, the kind of support that provides us with information and tangible support, the kind of empathy we need and the sense of belonging. And what we've started to do is we've started to get that in different places. So a couple of examples. The patient websites now that we use in order to get information about procedures, in this case hip and knee replacement, you don't get categorized by how much you use the site. You also get categorized by the kinds of support that you give, and you earn kinds of titles like Alpha and Don. And then you're not rated by how long you've been on the site or how many posts you've done, but how many thank yous you've received. And what happens because you have 2 knees or 2 hips is that you come back around and you give commentary and support when you come down to your next knee or your next hip. So what happens is that we start getting our support and advice and information. Then we start getting empathy and commiseration. Then we start actually connecting in a way that we allow somebody else to advise us. And we even see that they become friends. And folks are sharing recipes and telling jokes and sending pictures and asking about somebody's wife. So where we get our social support is changing. It's not just the group that's on the web and posting. Actually, of those 4,000 people posting, millions of people are reading those posts and getting support. And the last example is that now we see that homeless are spending the few dollars that they have connecting actually through Facebook and Twitter with their families and getting not only tangible support, but also the belonging and the sense of connection that they need. So this is why we believe that social support ended up being a strong buffer in the unmentionables. And so I appreciate the chance to address you today. Thank you.